A very good morning, children. I hope you had a good weekend. And children, today we shall continue with the last part of our chapter, Let's March. We had done last time part 2. Today we will take up part 3. And this is the last video of this chapter. And just to revise a little of what we've already done, we spoke about in a speech. You know, this entire chapter is a speech by Kailash Satyarthi. And he spoke last time about what Mahatma Gandhi said, that we have to teach and real peace in this world. And we have to begin with children. And Kailash Satyarthi added what? That we should do it with children. And we should globalize compassion. And he gave an example of an 8-year-old girl that he rescued. And the question that she had, that why did you not come earlier? And many of these questions are asked by our children. So we need to, have collective action and do something to help our children. Look at this picture. All the children here are so happy. Many of these children are the ones who are rescued, by him and his workers. So let's continue. I call upon all the governments, intergovernmental agencies, businesses, faith leaders, workers, teachers, and NGOs, and each one of us to put an end to all forms of violence against children. Slavery, trafficking, child marriages, child labor, sexual abuse, and illiteracy, these things have no place in any civilized society. Now, for any good work, children, you need people for you to work with you, right? You can't do it alone. Similar case in Kailash Satyarthi. He said, I want the governments and the intergovernmental agencies, businesses. These are people who have money, who have power, faith leaders. Leaders, we're talking about leaders where people have faith in them. Workers, teachers, NGOs. NGOs, we're talking about non-governmental organization. All of them must work together. For what? To put an end to all forms of violence against children. Whatever is against children. Now he's given some examples like slavery, where many children are taken as slaves, trafficking, where children are sold, child marriages, you can see a picture here, sometimes child is sold to much elderly man, child labor, where children are employed, sexual abuse, you can see the picture here where the women, sometimes it's the girl child, it's the woman who is sold, to men. And illiteracy, all these things, they have no place they should not rather have any place in our civilized society. When you're talking about civilized, what does it mean? Developed and advanced society, yes? So friends, we can do this. It's very positive. Governments must make child-friendly policies. Now, what do you understand by child-friendly policies? Policies or, laws which help children. Which are going to help the growth of children. And invest in education. Best investment is education today, children. And young people. That is why we as a school, the school authorities are, really requesting you to study well. Because that's going to help you. Businesses must be more responsible, accountable, and open to innovative partnerships. Now, what do you understand by innovative? Having new advanced ideas or methods. Something new. We can't follow something that is old, isn't it? Something new has to come up now. Intergovernmental agencies must work together to accelerate action. What do you mean by accelerate action? Means to speed up. We can't be slow. In the previous lesson we saw how he is talking about we have to be quick. It has to be urgent. No, we can't wait to save a girl child from slavery or from trafficking. It has to happen fast. Global civil society must rise above the business as usual and fragmented agendas. Faith leaders and institutions and all of us must stand with our children. Now, global, we're talking about the world. Civil is you and me, the society. We must rise above the business as usual. There are some businesses that are happening as usual. So we have to rise above that. We have to do much more. And fragmented agendas. Now, what do you mean by fragmented? Split up or disunified, which are not united. Okay. And agenda means a plan of things to be done to solve a problem. So we have to rise above these, and faith leaders and institutions and all of us must stand with our children. Therefore, you can see these pictures here. This is a picture where children are going through a lot of exploitation, and we need to stop illiteracy. We must be bold, we must be ambitious, and we must have the will. We must keep our promises. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of my school, I met a cobbler boy, my age, sitting outside the gate of my school. I asked my teachers, why is he working outside? Why is he not with us in the school? My teachers had no answer. One day, I gathered the courage to ask the boy's father. He said, "Sir, I have never thought about it. We were born to work." His answer made me angry. It still makes me angry. As a child, I had a vision of tomorrow, a vision of that cobbler boy sitting with me in my classroom. Now, that tomorrow has become today. Now, he talks about if we need to do, this work, fight against the violence against children, we have to be bold. We have to be ambitious. We have to have the will. And we must keep our promises. He narrates an incident, children over 50 years ago. He talks about, when he was going to school, he met a cobbler boy, of his age. He's sitting outside the gate of the school. And he asked his teacher, why is he working outside? Shouldn't he be sitting with me and, getting education? But the teachers had no answer. And one day he gathered the courage. What do you mean by gathered the courage? Means himmat karke, he asked to ask the boy's father. He asked the boy's father. And what was the answer the father gave? The cobbler boy's father, what answer he said? I have never thought about it. Kabhi socha hi nahi ki mera beta ko padhna hai. We are born to work. That is what was there in their mind, that we are born to work. My son is not born to, get education. And this answer made Kailash Satyarthi very angry. And it still makes him angry when he sees children working. Okay. And as a child, I had a vision of tomorrow. A vision is something, children, that you have, the ability to think about the future. Okay. Something, you imagine something very different from the others. And he had the vision for tomorrow. And he's talking about a vision where that cobbler boy will be sitting with them in the classroom. And that tomorrow has become today. I am today and you are today. Today is time. Today it is time for every child to have a right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. He's talking about today now. You and I are today, right? Forget about what yesterday. Okay? He's saying that every child has the right. Children, I'm sure you must have learned about human rights. These are some of the human rights given here in this picture. Freedom, peace, equality, dignity, hope, love, education, prosperity, justice, food, religion, speech. Okay? And he talks about every child should have this right because it's a human right. Why don't we give these rights to our children? Just because they are, not having the power to take it? Okay? Because they are so, weak that we can exploit them? That is what his question is. Today, beyond the darkness, I see the smiling faces of our children in the blinking stars. Today, in every wave of every ocean, I see my children are playing and dancing. Today, in every plant, in every tree and mountain, I see our children growing freely with dignity. This is what his dream is. He's talking about the vision. And in the blinking stars, talking about the stars that blink, you can see the faces of the children there. In every wave of every ocean, he can see the children. And he wants to see the children in this kind of atmosphere. You can see there, the children are playing and dancing. They're so free here. They're not in bondage. They're not in slavery. They're not in trafficking. and that is what he wants. They should be freed with dignity, okay, with respect. Friends, I want you to see and feel this today inside you. My dear sisters and brothers, as I said, many interesting things are happening today. May I please request you to put your hand close to your heart, close your eyes and feel the child inside you. I am sure you can. Now listen to that child. Listen, please. Today, I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas, and Martin Luther Kings calling on us. Now, he is talking about a child in all of us. We all have a child in us, okay? And if we are given a chance, all of us will show it, surely. Okay, so he's saying, my dear sisters and brothers, I'm requesting you, put your hand close to your heart, close your eyes and just feel the child inside. And when you listen to that, you're going to understand what Kailash Satyarthi is trying to tell us. And he talks about three important people here. Mahatma Gandhi, you already know him. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is the South African activist and president fought for human rights. And then we have even Martin Luther King, a social activist and who played a key role in American civil rights movement. Very great man who fought for the human race. And he said, I can see thousands of them here. Okay? Let us democratize knowledge. Let us universalize justice. Together, let us globalize compassion. I call upon you in this room and all across the world. I call for a march from exploitation to education. I call for a march from poverty to shared prosperity, a march from slavery to liberty, and a march from violence to peace. Let us march from ignorance to awakening. Let us march from darkness to light. Let us march from mortality to divinity. Let us march. Now here he's talking about the very title that we put in this chapter, okay? Let us democratize. What do you mean by democratize? We're talking about make democratic, okay? Our country is a democratic country, but the other countries are not. And even in our democratic country, we still have slavery going on. We still have, trafficking going on. So we need to democratize knowledge. And we need to universalize justice. Let it be justice for all. That is what he's trying to say. Let us globalize compassion. And how can we work with compassion, children? When we have the love for human beings, right? So therefore he's calling. He said, I call upon you in this room. Now he's giving a speech. Remember, he's receiving the Nobel Prize there. And he's talking to all the guests there. And he says, I call for a march from exploitation. We have to march. We have to change this exploitation to education. We have to change from poverty to prosperity, from slavery to liberty, and march from violence to peace. You can see the different pictures of marching here. Nelson Mandela with his wife marching, taking out a march here for the rights of youth. We have Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi here, the Dandi March. Without that, it was not possible. We need to fight against ignorance, okay, to awakening. So from darkness to light and from mortality to divinity. From what we need to make a difference. So let us march. This is what the chapter is about. So you and I should make some difference. We need to, do something. So I hope this chapter has motivated you children, has children. Each of you can make a difference. Right now, you can educate yourself well. Later on, you can fight for some of the children, for their rights. We have some meanings here. Innovative, having new advanced ideas or methods. Fragmented, split up or disunified. Agenda is a plan of things to be done to solve a problem. Democratize is make democratic. And exploitation is take undue advantage of. You have your assignment. Please see that you do that assignment. I hope you're writing your meanings in your notebook, children. Learn them. They are not difficult. If you're doing it every day, it becomes easy. Thank you and God bless you.